right, North-South Connection. We are here live on YouTube, post Royal Rumble. Here with my good buddy, Mr. Blood. Mr. Blood, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. Really excited to get into this interesting Rumble for sure. Um, I think it's gonna be quite the talking point to say the least because a lot of unexpecteds with some very clear expecteds, and to be quite honest, quite a bit of a fair amount of disappointment in there for me personally.
Okay, yeah, I, I can see that side of it mixed with, well, because the bar was very high, especially for me, right? I can see that, but a lot of excitement too, as well, right? Let's give them their. It was safe, but then a lot of wow, right? So
Yeah, yeah, I can agree with that.
we'll kind of jump into it overall. Mr. Blood, typically I start with this thing 30, 40 minutes after a show. Couldn't wait. I wanted to jump right into it. Let's go through the Women's Royal Rumble where we started and let the people kind of come in here as we get into it, and then we'll finish hot.
Sounds
Women's
good.
Royal Rumble, overall sentiment before I kind of break it down. Is this where you felt disappointed? Is it, or what? Where are you at with that?
So I started the night off really high, enjoying my wing stop, which was hilarious because as soon as I opened it, Michael Cole plugged it. Um,
Got him right under you, by the way. Check it out right there under you. I had
literally,
no idea. No idea.
and pay me. But what do you call it? Wing stop. But it was so I thought the women's Royal Rumble was very well booked. I thought it was very well paced. Um, really great, great start. I thought. I thought having Liv Morgan out there second was a very good idea because it made you overall feel, oh, thank God she's not going to win this. But it was one of those rumbles where overall I was incredibly happy. But as time went on, I found myself more and more anxious, and I had my phone set up on my TikTok to record me every single countdown for that Rumble, just waiting to hit record in case AJ Lee came out. And I was starting that timer literally 4 seconds before everyone's music hit. And I get to 30, in the video I posted my reaction of it not being her like this, and you can see the live deflation of me because Charlotte Flair is literally my favorite professional wrestler on the women's division in history. I
Yep.
love Charlotte Flair. I thought it was the wrong call. When she won, I felt it was way too safe. There was no Becky. We had some great things like Alexa Bliss, but when I saw Nikki Bella come out 30th, I immediately had the thought of why? And
Yep.
it just kind of for me for a little bit. And then we got the tag match that no one really cared about. It was great, but it was serviceable. If anything, the biggest thing about it is whatever's going on with the Street Profits. But from there, I just slowly from the show kind of until the ladder match came back up, and then for the men's rumble came back up.
Yeah.
So, but my overall for the first, it started off great, and the last 5 minutes of the women's, I just kind of started losing a little bit of that luster.
Yeah. All right. So to kind of kick us off here, Io Sky, Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez, Lila Valkyrie. That was an interesting first four, right? It's like kind of the future, a little bit of the present, but you've got to be under 5'2" to take this ride type of thing, right? So
Is that a euphemism?
if you're 5'2" and under, you're starting the Rumble. That's pretty much how we looked at that one. But
From short to tall.
yeah, no doubt. But yeah, those four girls to start the Rumble was pretty good.
Oh yeah,
EO lasting to the final 10-ish.
Iron Woman.
Rox, yep. Morgan lasting to the final 25-ish. And then Roxanne Perez, your runner-up, your maid of honor of
Yeah,
this Royal Rumble.
yeah.
I thought that was a great spot for her. Her call up is on the horizon if it isn't in the sudden, right? But definitely at the latest Raw after SmackDown after WrestleMania, maybe even after Vengeance Day, perhaps. I don't know if they have a Mania spot for her, but great call having her go in there and set a Royal Rumble record for the longest title or the longest time elapsed for a women, they said as well. So yeah, Roxanne Perez killed it there. Lyra out second, a little interesting. Her on the horizon, perhaps for a big WrestleMania match, maybe against Becky. Rumor that's just speculation on my end, but her out second, a little sudden to me. But the way they did it was a little protective of her,
Yeah.
right? And we there's still some juice in that Liv Morgan heat. Let's kind of keep her to the end dish as well. And Io was a part of that earthquake of an elimination that we'll kind of get into as well. So overall, we'll kind of pace our way through this match in chunks. What did you think of the first four? Did you like that choice?
I thought it was a very it's a safe choice
Yeah,
because first off, Io, you put her in there with anybody, no mistakes are going to happen. No one's actually slipping off the ropes. There were several points in the match where whenever Io was about to eliminate someone and they might have gone a little too high over the rope, something, you could see her grabbing onto their hand to squeeze it while they were grabbing the rope to make sure they stayed in. Io is that all around. She's like a Bailey. She's just overly reliable. So putting her in there first to set the pace makes so much sense. Liv, another choice where, regardless of what anybody says, Liv is a very safe worker and she's a smart worker. But I've heard people liken her to the Miz, and she's not that safe. She's not because
right.
remember there was a hardcore gimmick they slapped on her at some point 2 years ago. But Lyra, uh, I'm with you on this one. I don't know why they were like, yeah, we'll have her out this early. But here's the thing: she came out to no pop.
Yeah,
In
no problem.
fact, they didn't start wooing in her music till she was three-quarters the way down the ring. And people were like, oh yeah, we're supposed to like do crowd engagement here, right? And I was like, she's your women's intercontinental champion.
Yeah,
Why on earth is she out this early? Should have saved her because I also feel like they eliminated her much earlier than she would have been eliminated had they brought her in at like number 12, 13, 14, 15. And to your credit, where you're saying that this rumor of her with Becky at Mania, well, the whole point of Lyra is that she's supposed to be the next Becky Lynch. It's like a passing of the torch. So fanfare would say keep her strong, have her come out at a really good spot, not so early. Let the crowd be enthralled in the match and then bring her out. So then that energy is already there. Don't bring her out to help bring the energy up. I didn't get that.
yeah,
Other than that, good selection for the first, and there's a fourth I just blanked on. But as far as the first four, great choice. Mostly safe.
yeah, yeah. I feel like the booking for the whole Royal Rumble here is going to be safe, especially early on here, due to the kind of wonky slash clunkiness that we got last year, where they were trying to take like these big moments and big spots early in the Women's Rumble in 2024, where things got out of hand. It got a bad rap and a little bit haywire. So the
Yeah,
safeness, I felt like these four girls to be the glue, or really the first three girls to be the glue here, was extremely safe throughout the Royal Rumble. The next
yeah,
chunk here: Chelsea Green, B-Fab, Ivy Nile, Zoe Starks, and Lash Legend at number 9. No harm, no foul. Just
no,
play it up, come in. Probably the best run there was probably Lash Legend due to booking. No
yeah,
eliminations, but she had like nice power spots, nice power moves. She looked like $1 million. They put her over as a former WNBA superstar, and they kind of did her right, presenting her
yeah,
uh, pretty much to the national crowd in the Royal Rumble. She's had a cup of coffee on SmackDown or so, but I think out of those, in Chelsea, of course, shine the most, really.
yeah. You can put Chelsea anywhere though. That's the
Yeah,
best thing about Chelsea. She can be anywhere, and that crowd will eat her up. That's the benefit of having that level of charisma and that level of connection with your audience. She is a full blown heel, and they cheer that girl like a babyface. And she's still a heel, and they don't need to turn her babyface because she's getting these like lovable reactions for her heel shtick. She's a comedy heel, and she's great at that. And Lash Legend, I thought again, they definitely gave her. great places throughout the match to shine. Her great pump bicycle kick, thought that looked amazing. We should have done a tip up counter for this match. You should have had to take a shot every time one of these girls did a tip up in this match. I mean, dude, every time someone came out, hit their their blitz, and then automatically hit the ground, kipped up. It was on repeat. Io started the trend, and it goes till like the 20th intern of the match. But I thought this was a great, nice middling spot. It took a while for eliminations in this match.
Yeah, and that was smart, right? To kind of just load the ring up with a bunch of women, safe again, right? Safe, a lot of
Yeah.
moving parts, a lot of camera shots that we can get, and it's all safe and kind of let's keep our ground here. And I liked it to an extent. It hurt, it was safe. Let's just put it that way. And out of the rest, I thought Zoe is just, with the strikes and everything, especially with that like botch she had, didn't even look like a botch transition to a front roll.
No, she's so
Caught
quick on her
herself
feet.
caught herself, and you couldn't even tell, right?
She's
So,
highly underrated, in my opinion.
oh,
I
no
think she's
argument here.
criminally underrated
Yep.
because she was going for what her missile drop kick, turned it into basically a giant rush clothesline.
Yeah.
I mean,
Caught it,
masterclass worker.
caught it, front roll clothesline, second
Yeah,
nature. Let's put it that way, right? In a tough
yeah.
spot. And honestly, Ivy Nile probably low key good showing too. It's not. She's kind of catching her footing as a heel. I don't think she has a lot of
She
natural.
is.
She doesn't really have a lot of natural charisma that oozes out of her.
No,
But
because she's a
but
very serious performer.
yeah, so she's starting to maybe perhaps starting to click. A good night for her as well.
Yeah, yeah.
All
I
right.
think she's clicking. The crowd kind of gave her a little bit of a pat on the back there.
Yeah, she got the "you suck" chance, and then when she looked good within the match as well. All right, Belair, I loved her at 10. It really picked up. Monster pop too.
Yeah,
First, like big wow pop of the night. Baszler at 11, Bailey at 13, Sonya Deville at 13, and Maxine Dupree at 14. Talk about a kip up. Like the most
yeah.
athletic, smoothest kip up out of all these women after a
She's so
spin.
tall. It's her long ass legs.
That spin kick was, did it hit? Was it initial? I don't know.
No,
But,
it was.
anyways,
No,
Belair's
it went so high.
Belair is probably the highlight of here. What'd you think of these next 4 or 5?
This was where the match I started like really liking it because I love Maxine Dupree. I love her. I love that it has clicked for her. I think that she has so much hidden potential because when she hits a move, it's snappy.
Yeah.
She's got amazing connections with the crowd. She is super charismatic and she is so good at that charming, goofy girl
Natural,
shit that's so
natural
relatable.
charisma. The complete
She's a
opposite.
nat
Yeah.
exactly. And that kip up where I mean she always kips up like that because her feet always hit before her upper body flips. But I loved it. Bianca is one of those performers where if it turns out she's the one that had attacked Jade and they turn her heel, this might be the last time she gets a massive pop. But I mean, she's always great. I love the face off between her and Lash. And I love when all four of those women, Lash and the other girl from NXT, I'm blanking for no reason, but
Jada
basically
Parker.
Naomi, yes, basically Jada Parker, basically the two very up and coming black women of NXT on the rise, face to face with two of the most established and successful black women of the main roster.
Chelsea
And
Green
I
slides
thought,
in.
and then Chelsea Green's like, hey, we're all like praising each other, and that's what I love about her. Her comedic timing, and it's just it was really freaking awesome. And I'm forgetting someone else who you had mentioned that was just in that. Am I? Aren't I? There's someone I
Sonya,
haven't mentioned.
Sonya,
Sonia,
Bailey.
Sonia. I have been a Sonia stan since her awesome run during the pandemic era, where she was feuding with Mandy Rose and they were having those insanely great promos back and forth and like this really gripping feud before she went away for her knee injury. But like Sonya Deville, or not her knee injury, when someone had broken into her home. But
Yeah.
Sonya Deville, not only does she not get her due for being insanely good on the mic? She is a crisp worker. I loved her entire run in this Rumble because every time she hits you, it looks like it hurts. She's so quick. She's so snappy. Sonya is awesome. I wouldn't have been mad if they'd kept Sonya in until the final four, she was my favorite part of that middle section.
Yeah, I don't want to go off on like a Sonya sidebar here, but she has like this low key connection. But I feel like Ronda coming kind of totally cut off her initial MMA Street Fighter gimmick, right? And then
Yeah, yeah,
when she when you mentioned the robbery, right? That she was starting to catch steam, and then that kind of cut her off as well. So
yeah.
she was really good at this GM, and then she tears her ACL. So now she's back here leading this group. They're kind of stuck in the middle, but I don't know if it's a holding pattern. I do think she has breakout potential. It's just that this NXT roster is so loaded. I don't know where she fits when that. But
I feel like she could be one of the top heels if
yeah,
they let her do it because she's got all the tools and she's proven it. And she has proven she is a great worker. So not only are you going to get great story, great promo to sell that story, you're going to get great in-ring matches. So if she was a top heel, she'd be a great top heel against any major babyface in that women's division.
I'm not against it. I don't know about the group though, but we'll see where it leads her. All right,
The group,
15.
I think the group is dead in the water. I mean, can it by
Yeah,
now because you keep putting them on losing streaks. I can't take them seriously. But her, put the rocket on her.
yeah. I like aspects of the group. Like I like Sonya a lot. I like Zoe a shitload, but Shayna,
Yeah,
43-year-old. I don't know. Just the whatever.
yeah.
Let's move on from
And then
Pure Fusion Collection.
yeah. And Shayna's legit too, but I see where you're coming from. They
Yeah,
Vince fucked her up years ago.
yeah, she was kind of DOA. All right, Naomi 15, Jada Parker 16. Let's just touch on those. We already touched about that awesome spot where I don't know. Excuse me, where the sisters. I'll just play it safe and say with Chelsea.
I'm half black. I give you permission to say the full black woman. I'm half black and half Polynesian. 50% of me gives you permission.
0% of me accepts. All right, so
Oh wow! Okay, just so you know, guys, I did give him the run. So,
but yeah, that was a really fun spot. I don't want to call it levity, but it just felt like it fit like a glove, right? It was good
yeah,
timing as well. And it was I'm curious if that like goes somewhere too. I always thought that Jada had like Michin tag team partner potential. They gave that rub to BFAB, but I'm
mhm.
curious where that kind of lines up. Yeah, what did you think of Jada while we're here on her? Have you seen a lot of her in NXT?
So with me, I don't watch. So I don't know if I mentioned to you, I got rid of my cable when Raw went to Netflix because the only reason I had cable bundled with my internet was to watch professional wrestling. Um, Now I realize I'm just going to catch the SmackDown as the clips come out on YouTube, and I'll watch Raw on Netflix, and I'll watch the PLEs on Peacock. So I save myself some money in these trying times. And so I don't. I only catch
I'll hook up for you
NXT,
after. Let me know. I'll let you know.
but I only catch NXT from. I always watch Wrestle Talk every single morning on YouTube. That is where I get my updated wrestling news every morning from Wrestle Talk and from What Culture Wrestling. And so when they do their NXT reviews and things like that, that's how I know what's going on. And I've seen a lot of clips on about NXT from all the thirst trappers on TikTok. So as far as Jada Parker is concerned, from what I have seen of her, I think she has got a nice edgy charisma to her. There's something about her that's a little different than most.
Yeah, she got
She's
some shit to her.
she's got some shit to her, right? She
Yeah,
puts a little stank on it. She's like, I will fuck you up kind of
yep.
energy, And but she's got a great look. She's great in ring, as we saw. She's like I said, she's very snappy, just like Sonya. There's something about her. The movements are crisp. Everything looks legitimate when she hits it. She's got great timing, and she sells. I like Jada Parker.
Yep. Yeah, she is. I think she has a bright future, and throwing her in this Royal Rumble probably shows that let's get her
Yeah,
on the big audience. So I think
some
that yeah,
exposure. Yeah,
LSU soccer. So she's an athletic stud, right? She has the pedigree. She got some shit to
yeah,
her. I think her future is bright, and she's a
100%.
homegrown girl too. NIL.
Yeah.
whatever system. So they're gonna love that of it. All right.
Yeah.
Piper Niven, fantastic with Chelsea as it gets in here.
Yeah.
Natty and Jordan Grace. What's that in Meach in there? So now we're through 20. Piper, I'll take Piper real quick. I love the stupid secret security gimmick. It's fantastic. Right?
Yeah.
So Chelsea comes in at 5. Piper's comes in at 17. So on her own, Chelsea has survived, let's call it what, 20, 25 minutes, right? As soon as she
Yeah.
hears the music, she's elated, so on and so
She gets
forth.
all
She's relieved. She just went through the drama with the sisters, and her backup's finally here to carry her through the second part of the Royal Rumble. I just love the dynamic. And Piper's found her footing on this main roster. I just adored the relationship between them, and I like that they played into the story of the Rumble with them as well.
Yeah. Piper is one of those girls on the roster that is, you know, world traveled in this industry. She is a phenomenal talent, a phenomenal worker, and you can put her with anybody. It'll be a great match.
Yep.
Her stuff with Chelsea is the highlight of her WWE career.
Yep.
So, and who would have thought, right? Who saw that coming? But they play off each other so well. Comedic timing is awesome. And Michin, another one of those girls that I'm glad Triple H has started giving her a chance to prove what she can do.
Mm-hmm.
Still wish they'd still call her Mia Yim because I hate the name Michin. But as far as concerned, when they give her a chance to go, she goes. Her stuff with Nia Jax was awesome. As far as it's concerned, when it comes to uh, Jordan Grace, now I've been waiting to say this since I really finally, for the first time in a long time, got a really good look at her in the ring and saw her energy, saw how she wrestled, saw how she moved, and it clicked. She reminds me of the Ultimate Warrior.
Continue.
I don't mean in body. Like, I mean, she's got a fantastic physique, but there was something about the way that she would power up, hit the ground, and oh no, and she would just just get fired up. And it was something in her movements, her hair, the way she strained. And in a moment, I just looked at her and I was like, "Why do you remind me of the Ultimate Warrior?" I was literally seeing it as I was watching her move and perform. Her energy, the way that she wrestled, reminded me of the way that Ultimate Warrior moves. And I was like, that's what I haven't been able to place in months. Even last year when she came in, I was like, I feel like I've seen you before because I'd never seen Jordan Grace before Rumble last year. So I was like, I feel like I've seen you somewhere before, and it took a whole year for it to click. I haven't seen you before. I felt your energy before, and I loved her,
Yeah.
loved her. I'm so glad she's here.
Yeah. In 2017 through pretty much up to the pandemic, she would come to Worcester all the time and wrestle. Beyond Wrestling, I don't know if you ever heard of them. They got no
I've
seats.
heard of you. Yeah,
You stand in front of the ring. So I've stand ringside, literally hands on the apron, and watch her wrestle men for 4 years leading into the pandemic. And she's a stud. Just watching her body transform from a, with all due respect, chubby, adorable badass into this right now.
right.
I nothing but
May,
flowers.
may,
I hope she is making it. She's not. She's going to make
yeah,
it. But I hope she makes it to the tippy tip top. I'm one of her
they're
biggest
gonna put a
fans.
rocket on her.
Yeah,
They're gonna put a
and
rocket on her. I
you can
mean,
see why. By the way, that control and the strength with that fireman's carry suplex, land on her
that
feet,
was a
fire
great
up.
spot.
It's an unbelievable,
I
unbelievable.
mean, she's captivating to watch, and a physique like that make a lot of small men feel insecure because she that girl. Here's the thing: Triple H is a work rate guy, but he's still always, to his core, a body guy
Yep,
when it comes to performers and talent. And if Triple H sees something in her, I guarantee you he sees China. So, I think good for her.
no doubt,
Freaking awesome for her.
no doubt. All right, 21. standalone, no one else. Alexa Bliss,
Hmm.
unreal pop of the night
Yeah.
up to this point, hands down. Probably
Yeah.
pop of the Royal Rumble for the women, no doubt. Internet got played, perhaps. Kudos
Yeah.
on
Might
them.
have been a work.
Kudos on them. I love that. I like when I saw the Bliss. I thought we were gonna get the Goddess. I prefer the Goddess instead of the spooky, whatever it is. But however, she's back. She looked great.
Oh
She
yeah.
when she came in the ring, her snaps, her movements, her footwork, her placement, she looks good. You know what I mean? And she's
Yeah.
not known for that. She's known for the character work, the charisma, the connection with the crowds.
Yeah.
But in ring wise, she's been getting ready. She looked really, really strong.
Yeah. She's never been an in ring worker per se. She's just very good at doing the work in the ring safely, and she's good at selling. But she's always been a character-driven performer between herself on the microphone and storyline wise. She's just always been great at that. The goddess gimmick, I do love the goddess gimmick. I feel like this is a fusion of goddess and what was left over from
Yeah.
Bray. But it's not the spooky Sister Abigail possessed stuff. That doll that she carries sold a shit ton before. So that's probably why she's back, so they can keep selling it and have her push it. But she dropped that baby weight, man. She doesn't even look
Yeah.
like she ever even she looks like she never knew what pregnancy was. Like, I mean, the girl came in the ring, she hit her moves. I didn't see a hint of ring rust. I didn't see a single botch from her, not anything mistimed. I did notice that the normal double knee stomp into a roll, back handspring knee slam into the gut, she changed it. So she did instead of doing the backflip into the knee for the follow through, she turned around and just did a rolling senton. So maybe she's holding off so she can maybe remember how to keep performing that. Maybe the muscle memory's not all back. But as far as concerned, I thought, agreed, great pop, great surprise. We definitely probably got worked here. Because for those of you who don't know, it was a contract thing where it looked like they had pulled all of her creative because the rumor was she could not secure a deal with WWE that they could agree on for her contract. We might have gotten worked, but Alexa Bliss is a big name for them, especially right before Mania season. So welcome back, Alexa. Great to
Yeah, I'm
freaking
curious.
see you.
There definitely, I think there was a discrepancy with money. You know, she's probably got that pre-COVID contract or
Yeah,
around COVID
yeah.
contract. Liv Morgan got that TKO money, and in
Well, here's
Alexa
the thing.
Bliss,
With the contract she had before, the name value of Alexa and the popularity, it's when you really look at it, she went on baby leave. So if they added any extra time to her contract for the pregnancy and the baby leave, they just extended her contract by 2 years.
no,
But
oh,
here's the
no doubt,
thing. If you want me to come back, homie, why are all these other girls that weren't on this roster before I got here making more money than me? I'm
significant.
OG.
Mhm.
I've been when did she debut for them? Like 2015?
Main roster 2016, yeah, that draft.
2016. So I've been here a minute. Don't tell me that. And I love Bianca, but don't tell me Bianca's making more money than me. I was here before her. I was champion before her. I was in WrestleManias before her.
They ain't got that merch money like me. They ain't got that merch dolls. You know,
No, no,
this
they
bitch
don't.
Lily's over. This bitch Lily's over because of me. But
Exactly. Like, so I hope they gave her what she earned. You know,
but then
really
again,
do.
it's a little weird. Like, I'm sure they met in the middle and made it work.
I'm sure they met in the middle. I'm sure they met in the middle, but she's been around a long time
Mhm.
and she was a great champion. So if you have her back, she now adds more name value to your women's roster. She can be in great feuds. We don't know if she's a heel or a face yet either, because those were
No.
baby face reactions. But when she left, I think she was a baby face. Because remember,
Yeah,
she was only back for like one or two shows, and then she was gone for
yeah.
two years.
She's been gone since 2 years ago, the Royal Rumble in San Antonio, where they did
Yeah,
the spooky nonsense after Belair beat her. So, and then she got
yeah.
pregnant.
So
She's been gone. But either way, whatever they did contractually wise, when
welcome
Triple H
back,
when they heard that pop, it's justified.
100%.
All right. So she was 21, 22, Zelina Vega, 23, Kansas Michelle. Excuse me. Yeah, I wish. Candice LeRae, 24, Stephanie Vaquer, 25, Trish Stratus, and 26, Raquel Rodriguez. We got some mid-carders from SmackDown. we have an NXT rising star, and we have a Hall of Famer. I'll take Vaquero real quick. I thought in the preview I was like I would bring her up, no doubt, not up, but present her to the main roster, the audience at the Royal Rumble. First of all, she can handle her own with any woman that she sniffs in this Rumble. She has a look. She's got a big contract. Let's justify it. And she's the future. NXT is cooking ratings wise, and it's based around women, and she's one of them. She's definitely the future. We stole her from CMLL. We stole her from AEW. We stole her for wherever. Let's fucking shine her up. I'm sure when they stole her, we'll put you in the Rumble year one as a lore. And it worked out. She looked great. Nothing super consequential from her tonight.
No.
But a successful debut, no doubt.
Yeah. To be expected in a Rumble. You can't give everybody a chance to shine, or the Royal Rumble match would be an hour and a half long instead of an hour.
Like the men's.
Like the men's. And when it comes to her, this was my first exposure to her ever.
Oh,
And I liked her look a lot. I liked her energy. There's something dark about her that
like a dark confidence. You stole the words right out of me.
I clicked with it because I for those of you who know, I'm a very dark person. I love the evil characters. I connect. When I was a professional wrestler, I worked heel and stayed heel. And I've always been that edgier, dark, goth, punk rock. That's been my bag. My wife always wonders why I'm like that. She's like, you laugh. Why do you like that horrible evil shit? It's my bag. That's my soul, baby.
My soul. I took my word out.
But when I saw her, I thought, I want to see more of you. And not in any kind of hyperbolic way, but I was like, I like the look, I like the move set. I don't know what's going on, what they're doing with these kids in NXT. Every single one of these kids can fucking work. It's a gold mine down there. Shawn Michaels doing something right. That's what I'm saying. Trish Stratus, always great to see Trish. You want to talk about a legend that never missed a fucking beat? I'm still not over the steel cage match between her and Becky Lynch.
Oh, that was a great match 2 years ago.
One of the greatest women's matches I have ever seen in my life. And Trish being back, that girl is what, in her 50s now? And she still looks like she's 38, 39 years old. Still wrestles and moves like it too. Still sells like it. The other mid-card fodder, I've already forgotten their names.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately for them,
Unfortunately for them, thanks for coming. At least you weren't in catering. But other than that,
yeah, Raquel looked good too for when she was in there. It wasn't very unconsequential, but she did her job protecting Liv.
I find her massively boring. When she was the baby face, I was begging for them to turn her heel. Then she went away for most of last year, and they came back and turned a heel, and I thought, oh, thank God, they did it. And I looked at my wife when she showed up and helped Liv, and I was like, she's a heel. They finally listened to me. And she's like, well, you've been saying you wanted that. And then a week and a half, 2-3 weeks later, I was like, she's still fucking boring. I just don't think she has any charisma at all. Because even when she was a babyface, and it was the whole back hell thing, it was half reaction to crickets. I don't know what it is about her. She doesn't have an it factor. There's no it factor quality about her. She's massively boring.
She has some decent intangibles. She can go to an extent. She has a good look, but
to me, she's just a big, tall, strong girl. And we have how many of those in the roster with personalities?
I think, that's kind of how she found herself as a lackey in a way, right? So
exactly.
All right, 27, your winner, Charlotte Flair. 28, Julia. 29, Nia Jax. And number 30, AJ. Oh, just kidding. Nikki Bella. We can end with Charlotte. Julia, I was a little shocked that she was in the Rumble, not because she doesn't deserve it whatsoever. I would have put her in a little bit earlier, so she had the star, so the spotlight was much brighter on her. I don't want to say that she was forgotten about whatsoever.
She got a great reaction.
She got a great reaction. She ripped really well, and instantly coming in, the face-off with Io Sky was really, really cool.
Mint.
I would have just put her in there a lot earlier so she could have
Yeah, I agree.
a lot more focus.
I'd have
Like
put her in at like
spotlight.
18. I'd have put
Yeah.
her in at like 18, yeah. Um,
Like,
Julia, I remember the massive buzz around her when she came to NXT. I remember looking at her for the first time and going, "What are you about?" And I remember just going through clips and highlights on YouTube of her career. That girl is awesome. I mean, awesome. I want to see her versus Io at WrestleMania.
she has natural charisma. She has
She
natural
has
ability. It.
she oozes, as the kids say, she oozes aura.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I think that's the first time I've actually used that term. I
Sounded
but
cool. Sounded cool.
yeah, yeah, Unk has got it. But as far as it's concerned, like Julia, awesome. Charlotte Flair is my favorite women's professional wrestler of all time. No qualms.
All hail the
I
queen.
l- all hail the motherfucking queen. I am pissed off that she won.
Why?
Uh,
We'll get into it first. Who'd you want?
I wanted Becky to be there for one, and then I
Yeah.
wanted Becky to win because her story made the most sense out of everybody that was in that Rumble as a participant. Becky was the only one that makes sense, unless you want to see Liv versus Rhea 102 to face Rhea at Mania for that rematch. And if not Becky, I thought it should have been Bailey. History making back to back women's winner for the first time in history. And then it would have been Bailey versus Rhea. And Rhea would have been now faced in a row at Manias. All three members left in WWE of the Four Horsewomen. I thought that would have been perfect. And Bailey deserves a main event. So give her one, you know. And I thought that Charlotte wins Law, but I realized the Booker and me realized what they did. And I was like, now I understand why you telegraphed Charlotte coming back 3 weeks early, is because you knew if you had her come in and without telling anybody, everybody would have been like, oh God, it's Roman Reigns 2015 Rumble all over again. And they're going to hijack the show because they want Daniel Bryan. And so they did the smart thing. They said, we're going to tell you way in advance, Charlotte's back. Well, everybody's hoping that it's going to be, number 30. And we won't tell anybody if Becky's actually coming. We'll tell anybody if AJ's coming. We'll have Jackie Redmond mention it in interviews. We'll have Punk hint at things in interviews and let everybody just wait and hope to God. You can't hijack the match. The match is almost over. So they were like, we'll save Charlotte for the very end and then we won't say shit, and we will fucking blue ball you and give you Nikki fucking Bella.
In the Rey Mysterio
Why?
spot. Yeah.
Why? In the Rey Mysterio spot. And everybody turned on Ray because Ray wasn't Brian. And
Yeah.
they are fucking lucky it didn't happen tonight for Becky or AJ because it could have. So the only reason Charlotte won was because Becky wasn't there. And that's exactly how it feels.
Yeah. I'll take Nikki Bella here. It's a tough spot. I like that she's back. I don't, she's more of a star than a wrestler, whatever. She definitely has a demographic that would be drawn in by her. I'm not sure where she fits in. I assume it's a one-time deal. If not, we'll see where she kind of lies on this roster. At this point in
Her,
career,
demo, her demographic is internet trolls and freaking weebs. Like,
but I think at this
she
time in the
is to
career,
wrestling. She is
yeah,
to wrestling what Megan Fox is to acting.
I don't know.
A
That one went over
pretty,
my
a
head.
pretty, a pretty face who knew the right people. That is Nikki, and she put some work in, but her notoriety came from being with John Cena, Total Bellas,
Total
that
Bellas. Total,
drama. It had
yeah.
nothing to do with her in-ring ability, her promo talent, or anything.
She has
It
some
was
charisma. She has charisma, and she has some star power.
because she vacuumed it off of John Cena.
Well, it's stuck a little bit, but at this point in her career, what I was going to say, it would be interesting if she found herself in a tag team with a younger girl that kind of went under her wing, right?
They
I
were
thought,
hinting Roxanne Perez right in front of her face.
yeah, they were doing a little push-up contest. That would be cute. That would be good. That would be cool. That would be good for her at this time, but a brutal spot for her in the Rumble. It was hinted upon, but the people were yearning and wanted AJ Lee, and they got
I
Nikki
was
Bella.
begging for it.
And that's unfortunate for Nikki Bella because she kind of
Yeah.
deserved her little shine there. But
I'm
while we're here,
surprised she's there. The
yeah,
Bellas had a whole falling out with WWE like 3 times in the last 4 years. So I don't. They had another falling out last year. So
yeah,
that would be made wrestling news. So I'm just like, and the only reason they didn't probably have Brie there was because then everybody be like, let's talk about her husband Daniel Bryan, who's in our competitor's company. So
all right, let's talk Nia Jax while we're here. Nia, 29, 9 eliminations. The bulk of those eliminations was on that like earthquake spot.
yeah,
Personally, I kind of liked it. I felt that it was uncon, I don't know, how do I put it? I thought
unconventional.
unconventional and it worked, right? It was risky to go out there and just do that, but it got a lot of big names out like in a way that's safe. I feel like this whole Rumble was booked safe. If the gears go up to 10, I feel that we were stuck in fifth and sixth gear the whole
Yeah.
time. And perhaps we snuck to 7 a little bit, but we stayed in sixth gear the whole time. And it was a super safe Royal Rumble. A little bit too much Nia Jax for me at the end. Like
Yeah, not Nia was in the spot where, well, they already hate her so much. So if they're gonna boo this spot, at least it's Nia kind of thing. You
yeah,
know, we can get all your favorites out if it's the one person that we want to get heat on anyway. So
yeah. And Roxanne Perez, second to last here. I like that for her a lot, right? I like that Nia went out, and I just wish we had a little bit more Charlotte and Roxanne Perez before the finish. I understand they wanted to probably have save that for Jey Uso and John Cena for the men's at the very end, but a little bit more back and forth, a little bit more hope for Roxanne is a
I
little
think it
bit
was protecting Charlotte's knee just in case, just to see how
true.
she's doing in the ring. Because a match like this is perfect to bring someone who was just injured back in. That's kind of why the Rumble's always known for surprise returns from injury, because it's the safest match you can put a competitor who's been out for something so serious and so long in a spot where they are constantly being protected in the match. You can take tons of rest periods, tons of breaks while you're waiting on other people to get their time to shine in highlighted spots. And you're in the corner, just tucked down, catching your breath, rest in the body, rest in the legs. She doesn't have to overwork and put on a 5-star classic like it's WrestleMania with Rhea. She can sit there and go with the paces, not overwork the leg, not have to do any acrobatic spots. So I think they didn't have her do her and Roxanne as much because they probably knew the fans would be clamoring for way more of that than they were willing to risk giving Charlotte until they know for a fact that knee is good. I don't even see her competing on SmackDowns or Raws regularly anymore at all. I see her going to the Seth Rollins spot where they save her. And then, hey, maybe once every 2 months or so, we're going to put you on a match on TV to protect your knee. So,
Yeah.
because that's exactly what Rollins said in the interview is that that's what they do now to protect his knee and his body. They use him sparingly. So I can see Charlotte being at that level of her career now.
And they can make that a point of attention too in a match too to give them
Yeah.
hope that opponent. Like Tiffany should attack that at WrestleMania, and the whole story of that, the match structure should be her attacking that knee, right? So yeah, it's good stuff overall.
Do you
Women's Royal
do you think
Rumble,
do you think Charlotte's going for Tiffany and
yeah,
not Rhea?
I'd say 60% Tiffany, for
You think?
60,
Okay.
65% Tiffany, 35% Rhea.
So do
It
you
is
think
going to
Becky
shrink
comes
it.
back for an elimination chamber then, and then goes up? Do you think it's still Becky versus Rhea, but they're gonna get Becky in there some other way to get her to Rhea without the Rumble win?
I think we get Io Rhea, and I think we get Becky Lyra for the IC. That would be
I can
my
see that. I can
that would
see
be
that.
my guess. But honestly, if you want to go Rhea, Charlotte 3, on paper, it's the best match.
it makes the most sense that I mean, last year that was the best in-ring worked match of the weekend.
But it may be saved because I perhaps think they would want to main event that, and I don't see them main eventing this year with that because the
Yeah,
men's
there's too much going on with
there's too much
Bloodline and the other stuff.
Cena,
Yeah, I
whatever
don't
they
think
allow.
there's any women main event spots at Mania this year either. No,
So they would want to save that 3 for when it could potentially main event, right?
I can agree with that. And
Yeah,
I think Tiffany would greatly benefit from the rub of beating Charlotte at Mania.
yeah, or even losing to Charlotte at Mania and having a great
Losing, yeah,
performance and a great
yeah.
with a great performance. All right, overall women's Royal Rumble to be a complete nerd, 3.25 stars. I think it was safe. It was very good. It didn't get anywhere near great for me. It didn't drop anywhere. It
Yeah.
was. I don't want to say fine, but on its floor, it was fine. At its height, it was only very good. 3.25.
As petty as this is going to sound, I would have given it 5 fucking stars had AJ been there. But then again, to be completely fair to them, that's also my fault, and for fans like me's fault for over expecting and over and just expecting them to do something that we fantasy booked, and that's not fair to them. So if I take AJ out of it, and I take the fact that I feel like Becky should have come back out of it, I would also have to give it 3.25 stars along with you, because if I take out the fantasy booking of Becky and AJ specifically being there, you lost me. You lost me
Yeah.
when you had fucking Charlotte win, even though I love it and I hate it at the same time. But you really lost me when you had Nikki out at number 30, when there were plenty of other full-time women that could have taken that spot. And I feel like I just got that. If you go on my TikTok, you will watch my live reaction recorded of hearing her music, and you will see the fucking light leave my eyes. I was, it deflated me. So I
Yeah.
have to give it 3.25 stars with you. It never hit great. The 2023 Women's Royal Rumble was awesome. Last
3.
year's last year's hit some
It's it,
points.
it was clunky. Like last year,
It was
maybe
nowhere near as bad as last year, but
last year had
um,
low lows, a lot of
yeah,
light.
yeah,
Let's just put it like there was a lot of
it
lightness in that
was yeah,
match.
it
There
was
was way too
nowhere
much
near as bad as
anticipation
last.
here.
Yes, it was nowhere near as bad as last year's, but it was by no means incredible this year, and that's a little disappointing because I've come to unfortunately expect way more from Triple H than I think is fair for me to expect from him. But he's just been giving us so much great shit. This felt like a low point.
All right, great shit here with potentially DIY defeats the Motor City Machine Guns in 14 minutes in a 2 out of 3 falls match to retain the WWE Tag Team titles. I thought it was cute. It was a little early for my liking, but I thought it was cute how they did the fake tag spot for the first pinfall, right?
Yeah.
And then Machine Guns hit their finisher a few minutes later, got theirs about 8 to 10 minutes into the match, 2 falls, 1-1 each. And then we would have the Street Profits, excuse me, emerge here at the end of the match. I liked the edge that they had. I overall felt that they were the biggest stars out of all 3 of the teams, even though DIY and the Machine Guns were in a tough spot coming after a Rumble. But I actually thought in the preview, I said that I felt that the 2 out of 3 fall structure would help them because they're going to be flat following being second here coming after a Rumble match. And they were. Second fall came, a little bit more air in the room. Third fall, they were building up, building up, building up. We got to a point where we got pretty good. Street Profits with let's take all the heat and move on. What did you think of this? Overall, I thought it was very good. My expectation was way too high, and I said it was, and I tricked myself. But overall, these guys had a really tight match. Perhaps the 2 out of 3 falls hurt it a little bit, but I think it worked to an extent. Enough about me conflating on this. What do you think?
For a 2 out of 3 falls match, it felt like the regular length of just a good main event tag match on a really big Monday Night Raw.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good point.
in my opinion, and I say, let me put it this way: I spent half this match just checking comments and engagement on my phone for my other TikTok stuff because I
You-
never gave a fucking shit about this match. I
Nor
already
did
knew
anyone else
DIY
in
was
Indianapolis.
I already knew DIY was going to win, and because we were talking on Snug Wrestling, and everybody in the chat on the panel, we all agreed. None of us gave a fuck. We all knew DIY was going to win through bullshit shenanigans, and we called it. But on top of that, look, I have actually met the Motor City Machine Guns about 5 times in person, because I actually live, like I said, I live in Florida in Brevard County in Melbourne, and I used to go to the TNA shows 45 minutes down the road from me in Orlando every fucking weekend for years. I've met those guys. I spent my 17th birthday live on TV on TNA in the ring on the top and had the whole arena sing me happy birthday for my 17th birthday. And I have the pictures to prove it on my Facebook.
I was like, "Do we have
But
video? Do we have video?"
it was well, this was God 17th birthday. This was 2011 before smartphones really took off. So like this is before you had that good shit. You had like iPod touches. But like I got autographs from the Dudley Boys and AJ Styles. I've met all those guys several times. So I love the Motor City Machine Guns because I watched them put that X Division on their back. So I will always be fans of theirs. I couldn't care about this match because I don't care about DIY. And the only good thing about this match to me was the aggression. Everybody was fucking bleeding by the end of it. Um, I mean, Johnny Gargano's got a busted mouth. Mouse Ciampa's got a busted nose. Alex Shelley's got a busted fucking nose. And, so for me, the Profits, this was the only highlight of that match was the fucking angle afterwards, where the Profits finally showed the aggression that Bobby Lashley was trying to fucking get out of them 2 years ago.
Hmm.
By the way, are they heels now? Are they faces? Because they also attacked the heels. So, okay, so now we're left with more questions. So I don't care because there's no context. So it's for me, all right, great worked match. Couldn't give a shit. It was basically a catch your breath, go refill your beer, and take a piss match. And I hate saying that about them, but that's the match it was. It
Yeah.
was there to let everybody catch their breath and come down from spending all their energy on the women's rumble so they can build it back up for the men's. That's what this was.
And I thought I knew that was going to happen, and I trusted them to get them, but the structure of the match didn't call for it. I figured that 2 out of 3 falls, this would be the crescendo, but it wasn't. It's not there yet. They inserted the Street Profits, and that will be the blow off or whatever. So
Yeah,
it just wasn't time. It was a well worked match, probably their best
yeah,
match out of
yeah.
whatever. Gentlemen's 3.5, right?
It's
Like,
definitely yeah. For me, I'll give it a gentleman's 3.5. Uh,
mm,
just fuck it. No, I'll give it a 3. For me, it was the piss break match. I washed some dishes during this match, so like sorry, but not sorry. Like I said on Snug's podcast, this should have been the first match just to get it out of the way because you should have put him first to give the crowd some energy, get them started, kind of tease them a little
it
bit,
would have probably helped the match
cup,
too. Yeah.
yeah, cup those nuts, just tease a little bit. Match ends. Hey, I'm feeling really good. Shit, you feeling good? Ready for the first Rumble match? Yeah, bro, man, I got the spirit. Now my adrenaline's pumping. That's what that match should have been. It would have got the fanfare it needed. It would have got the audience, a little, jazzed up. Seeing some blood would have definitely helped them get jazzed up. And then it's going to the women's. That's what it should have been. Should have it literally the structure should have been non-rumble match, rumble match, non-rumble match, rumble match.
Yeah, I liked it. It was just flat, and yeah, it definitely a catch up coming out of that. All right,
Yeah.
this comment. I've been holding on to this comment for a while. We got some comments here. They just didn't attain to anything we were really saying. Matt Farrell. They just said on the post show that Rhodes may be out sometime with injuries. No idea if it's kayfabe or not. So that in mind,
Fuck.
as we get into the match, wow.
Rhodes?
Rhodes, Cody
Oh
Rhodes.
no. I hope it ain't nothing serious because well,
Yeah.
I mean he did take a couple of spills in that match that looked kind of snug. But for the love of God, because he landed on his arm a couple times a little too heavy,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping that didn't exacerbate his pec. But like, this is not the time for you, the face of your company,
No.
to be getting injured. We are 3 months, or dear God, 2 months from WrestleMania.
Two and a
This
half.
is not the 2.5. This is not the fucking time. So whatever it is, don't put him in any TV fucking matches. Keep him in angles. Let him do something in Elimination Chamber, and then leave that man off of the house show and live event circuit. Do not jeopardize your main event, and tell him to calm down in the gym, because that's
Hmm.
how he tore his pec the first time.
Yep. I will say your boy would need to be on a hospital bed nut to make WrestleMania 41. He is a
Oh yeah,
prideful
well, I mean,
man.
you would have to tie him to the
Right.
fucking bed to keep. I mean, you couldn't stop him from doing a 3.5 hour plus Hell in a Cell match where he let Rollins attack the fucking injury.
Savage.
The man is tough,
Yep.
and if you don't think Cody is tough, that man is invited to every cookout. He's tough. Okay,
Mhm.
hats off to him. I hope it's kayfabe. If it's not, maybe they're just selling the part where they were checking on both Kevin and Cody at the same time. And this is just playing into they beat each other up so badly that they both got injuries. You know, that's what I'm hoping. That they're just selling
Yeah.
it. And to pray to God.
Brutal ladder match here.
Fucking
I
awesome.
25 minutes 5 seconds. Fuck, I don't know where to start. It was they used the similar to Shawn Razor. They used the ladder very effectively in the match, not to climb and jump off shit, but as a weapon.
Yeah.
KO with that suplex slam on the edge of the top of the ladder, gnarly. The
Oh,
fucking ladder spot with a crescendo at the end.
oh,
With
you talking about the Fisherman's Brainbuster?
oh, just
Oh God, that
countless.
looked like it hurt them both, bro. Because that's the spot that made everybody come check on both of them.
Yep.
Dude, that was the pop up power bomb off of the ladder. He caught him in midair. He fucking tucked his ass into that mat. Um, I thought it was great ladder match. Because it's not often that we get one-on-one ladder matches anymore. It's very rare that we get them. And I like that we don't get them that often because they always feel important when we do see a one-on-one ladder match. Because honestly, when was the last time we saw it? We didn't have a one-on-one ladder match last year. Not that I can remember it for any major title, any major event. So it's one of those things where I like that Triple H is taking stipulations that were overused, overdone, and gimmicked matches, and he's going, nah, 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 nah. We're going to bring the prestige back and we're going to save them for blow off matches. A ladder match, perfect blow off match. Hell in a Cell, perfect blow off match. Steel Cage, perfect blow off match. Not fucking how Vince did it for the last 10 years, 12 years, where like 3 times, 3 or 4 or 5 times a year, there's going to be a steel cage match in the main event of SmackDown or the main event of Raw. Nah, man. Like, when was the last time you saw a steel cage match on regular TV? Been a minute.
Yeah, SmackDown debut, Uso, Cody, or Solo
Okay, so
Cody.
like,
Yeah, excuse me.
so Solo Cody SmackDown debut.
Season debut on Raw on USA Network.
Okay. Oh, so months, but like way back in fall, like months and
Yeah,
months ago.
cage
So
match. Yeah,
like but exactly, but it's the ladder match is perfect. It's a great blow off match. The stakes are high, and I mean that literally and metaphorically because the stakes are literally hanging 20 feet in the air. So it's one of those matches that this was perfect for these guys. They can get creative, they can be brutal, they can be visceral. It got bloody. It got
mm-hmm,
very bloody. I'm starting to
mm-hmm.
really like that reinforced announce table, even if JD McDonough's back isn't. But it's it's one of those to get well, JD. But it's one of those things where um, that Alabama slam, wow,
Yeah,
what a move!
Eat your heart out, fucking Bob
Ooh,
Holly. Eat
man,
your heart out. When they
and
the clock.
hats off to Kevin Owens for always being willing to take the gnarliest bumps that they throw at him. Oh, I thought his front flip off the top turnbuckle onto a bunch of piles of unfolded chairs back first was the gnarliest thing I'd ever seen outside of Drew McIntyre's Miss Claymore lumbar first onto the step corner. But
Oof.
that was brutal. This shit, I looked at that and said, "Oh my God, Cody might have just broke this man's neck." Like, like, woo! What a way to end a match. Ooh,
Yeah,
oh, I hope Kevin got a beer after that.
awesome. And I love the standby agents watching in concern, like what's going on. I thought Sammy was a good foil there. Like it
Yeah,
added suspense. When Cody started climbing and then when he got to the top and delayed, I'm like, is Sammy missing a spot? Is that why Cody's delayed? Perhaps Cody was a little banged up and couldn't really had to kind of hold himself
yeah,
as he reached up there as well. Kudos to those guys. Gnarly. 4 stars plus.
yeah.
I'm going before I give this one 4 star. It's 4 stars plus. So 4 and a quarter perhaps. I have to rewatch this before I kind of give it my overall grade for the bullshit that I do. But match of the night. So match of the night so far. Kudos. Great blow off to a great feud. I thought Kevin brought Cody to that next level that he needed to. He brought urgency to this title reign. Not that it was needed, but it was warranted. Uh, I dug the tone of Cody the last 2 weeks leading into it. The the eagerness, the a little doubt, the urgency to get to WrestleMania, but he had this monster hurdle. He knows what a third straight WrestleMania in a title match would mean to him. And he has this third match with Kevin Owens. And he knows Kevin Owens will go through anything to get to him and get that title. Fantastic. What's next with Sammy Cody? What's next with Sammy Owens? Fuck.
Mania. Sammy Owens the Mania. I feel like that's
Yeah.
got to be there because Kevin had already alluded to it. He goes, and I know that my best friend wouldn't let me down. I know my best friend would help me win this championship. Like all the times I helped you like he made it very clear. The only reason I haven't attacked you yet is because I need you to help me win.
Yep.
Wink,
And
wink, nudge, nudge. And if you don't, I'm gonna package pile drive your ass the next chance I get.
into
So,
Sami
and
Zayn's into Sami
go ahead.
Zayn's core, he didn't help him win the match. He was concerned about him when he was down and out.
Yes, and that's the thing. I guarantee you, whatever promo exchange they have, Sammy's gonna be like, I was checking you. I was worried about my friend. I thought you were hurt. And
Yeah.
Sammy's gonna go, well, I'm glad you were worried about me being hurt. And then he's going to gut kick him, and he is going to package pile drive him.
Yeah.
And that's going to start their feud. And you know what's great? I'm glad. At first, I thought this match was going to need Randy Orton to come back because I thought he's not. If he's not in the Rumble, he's got to be here. That's what everybody said. If he's not in the Rumble, he's got to be here. And they saved him. So I'm wondering if when Cody or maybe Kevin and Sammy have some kind of exchange on SmackDown, and he goes to attack Sammy, I have voices in my head, and then that's the Randy return.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we're going to get Randy KO before we get Sammy KO. But I'll give it 4 stars. Uh, I thought it
Oh,
was
the
really fucking awesome.
brutality, the booking.
Yeah,
It was
the
25
blood
minutes.
adds
Yeah,
the blood boosted it. Blood boosted it.
25 minutes, and they did not feel like it whatsoever. It didn't
No,
drag
it almost felt short. It almost felt short to
because they
me.
sold so well. They made
Yeah,
every little thing count. All right,
Undertaker would be
D'Amato.
proud.
All right, here we go. A little here. D'Amato was there live. I was going to read all his comments. He sent me text messages for the Rumble for reactions, but Sammy got straight up heel reaction. Quite then mostly booze. So interesting. Interesting.
Sammy
John,
got heel reactions in the building. At what point?
yeah, that was my next question. John, during this match or when he came out in the Rumble, I'd love to know. Let me know. Comment if you're still in there. Overall, fantastic match. I loved it.
Loved
All
it
right, but
too.
This is what we're all here for. The men's Royal Rumble match. I'm just gonna go out there and say it right away. Best men's Rumble since Drew won it in 20. Hands down. I don't even think that's a hot take. I thought it was excellently booked. I thought that legit, legit plus 1800 from Vegas.
I honestly thought this
Surprise,
match.
shock.
I genuinely thought that this match. There were moments where I felt that I would get worried that we would be overcrowding the mid card there. But then I realized Triple H has been doing such a great job with so many of these guys. There was not many entrants that felt unnecessary or like they didn't need to be there. Um, I was surprised that Xavier and Kofi weren't in it. But at the same time, when I looked at, like, let's say Andrade, glad he was there, but I didn't think Santos needed to be there. I thought that should have been a spot for Kofi or Xavier to get some good heat reaction. Um, Overall, top to bottom, starting the match off with Penta and Ray, what a moment! Great way to get the crowd invested off the bat. Um, and they worked great. They gave Penta some awesome shit in this match.
I believe
Um,
he might have been the Iron Man. But real quick,
he
John,
might have been. It took him forever.
to follow up on John during the Rumble entrance, quite some booze, quiet, and then mostly some booze. So interesting. Yeah, you started rambling off about it here. Rey Mysterio 1, Penta 2, Chad Gable 3, Carmelo Hayes 4, Santos Escobar 5, Otis 6. Continue.
Uh, Really great first six. Start him off hot. Santos came in. You said right? Santos was
Santos
the
was
first one.
5. Yeah,
Again,
a
didn't think it
lot
was
of story going in there, and they played into it.
a lot of story going in there. If anything, the reason Santos fits is just from the old LWO stuff and him kind of looking for the respect from Penta that Penta's showing Ray, and he's like, "Go fuck yourself." I thought Otis, always loved to see Otis. I will
Yeah,
always love to see Otis. He's so fun. I love him for all the reasons I love Maxine. Lovable, adorable, awesome charisma. The crowds in it,
lower mid
they
card
come
fun.
alive for him.
Yeah,
Yes, lower mid card fun, mixed with the legitimacy of a Rey Mysterio, the legitimacy of a Penta, and God, who else came out? Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo is one of those. Carmelo Hayes, right?
yeah, he's 4th.
Uh, Carmelo, in my opinion, I think I said this on Snud's podcast, not yours. Uh, Carmelo to me is what they turned Dolph Ziggler into. This guy who can go like crazy in the ring, sells like a motherfucker, but he's always there to put someone else over.
Like he looks too good doing it, right?
He looks too good doing it, so why not keep having him do it? And Carmelo,
He'll
to
have his
me,
day though.
is a he'll have his day. But to start him off hot when they brought him up during the draft last year, having a main event against Cody on his first ever fucking match on the main card to where he is now, even after the really great Andrade best of seven, um, I'm just like, what else are you doing with the guy? I'm glad he's in the Rumble, give him some shine, but then they got rid of him quick. He was out of there, what, within 15 minutes? So,
Not even, he
10,
was the
15 minutes.
first person eliminated. I don't have timestamps there, but at least 10
But
minutes.
yeah, I can't help but feel a little disrespected on his behalf. But it's I think he's a great worker, snappy. Loved some of the back and forth he had in there. Thought some of that shit was great. But
Oh,
first six, good safe first six.
yeah, Gable being the glue, in my opinion. I thought he legit
Oh,
hurt his.
love Gable.
I thought he hurt his legs when Ray came off of Penta. I was like,
Ooh, oh, my wife and I were doing that. And first off, awesome spot from friggin' Ray
yeah,
and Penta. If we can get a tag match with those two guys, I'm sure they'll book it at some point, but I'd love to see that. But when he landed on him, the first senton, reverse senton, straight on his knees, the first thing I looked at my wife, I went, "Ooh, oh God, I think he just injured Chad. Oh God." And
and
I
then
just
he's in the
like I went
corner
back
for
in my
like
seat.
he's in the corner for 2 minutes, and I'm like, no,
I'm
he's
like,
gonna have a
please
chance.
tell me he did not just injure him. I was
And then
so
like,
worried.
it's gonna be an impact injury. It's not a ligament injury. It's hopefully it's just a contusion. And then 2 seconds
Yeah,
later, he's up doing his
yeah,
thing.
and then I remembered. Oh wait, Chad's an Olympian. The
Yeah,
man knows what it feels like to get slammed hard as fuck, and he's a tough son of a bitch. But I love Chad so much that I'm just like, please God, not Chad. Don't get injured, Chad. Because I love seeing him on my TV. I love watching him work. I do. He's so grassroots.
yeah. I think
What
this
a
year,
performer.
I think he will be a mid card champion this year if he ends up on
He
SmackDown or
they
Raw.
better put they better put the Intercontinental or the United States on him. It's about damn time. Give it to him.
Yeah,
Do it.
yeah. But I
Make it
love,
legitimate.
like you said to start this men's rumble. When I heard Ray's music, I'm like, I had about 5, 6, 7 people over. We're like, Ray, whatever. And then we heard Penta's music. I'm like, yes, awesome, great decision. And then we
What
had
we were
Gable,
waiting for.
and I was like, Gable. I'm like, oh, the Luchador. They're playing into the
Right.
storylines. Carmelo, get him in early, play into the first round draft pick. Need to be humbled, get him out early. I understand it, playing into the character. Everyone has direction here. They're playing to what's going on in their thing. Santos, Triple H's boy, just make sure he's in the Rumble, shown early, flip around with Penta, just get him in there, show his face. Otis plays into the what we're gonna get here. Play great heat with Otis and Gable, by the way, playing into the history
Yeah.
there. Breaker
Man,
at
Otis smacked the shit out of him.
yes, they did. Um, Breaker at 7. Akira Tozawa, we think is going to be
That
8.
poor son of a bitch.
I love that Mello got the shine on his way out
Yeah.
of fucking smacking the shit out of him or whatever. And
Speed, bro.
listen, mixed
That
reviews
poor
from
son of a
here.
bitch got ran over.
Mixed reviews from me. No,
They'll go ahead. I'm sorry. They obliterated him.
I show speed, mixed reviews as a whole. The older crowd, what are we doing? I have a freshman in college over. I have 2 freshmen in high school over. I have a post grad senior, and I have a junior in college.
So they are all like, we know who that guy is.
They go absolutely ballistic for
They're
I
like,
show
who the
speed.
fuck is this guy?
I have about a 31-year-old and a 45-year-old on the couch next to me. So I got about 8 people in the room. The 5 younger kids absolutely fucking adore this spot. They're jumping up. They're like, I show speed. Are you kidding me? Kai's coming next. And I'm like, what's going on here? One of them's watching the I show speed Twitch stream like as the Rumble's happening. I'm like, guys, watch the Rumble. What are we doing here? Right? I thought it was so well done. At this point of the Rumble, levity was needed and accepted. I understand the older crew being like, all right, what the fuck are we doing? It was harmless. And the spear was the icing on the
Dude,
cake.
brutal.
When he smashed that spear after eliminating Otis, first of all, I show speed, natural charisma for days, right? But when when he took that spear, first of all, kudos, right?
Ooh,
It's Breaker. First of all, you're going viral with Braun Breaker, your next megastar. Throwing him in Otis's arms, and Otis throwing him over the fucking table. This guy takes a double, triple bump after taking a monster spear, after
yeah.
sprinting 75 yards to the ring.
What a ramp.
Kudos to I Show Speed. You got a new fan today. My 40-year-old, 38-year-old, 30, whatever I am, 39-year-old ass.
Undersell it.
Respect.
Yeah.
Respect. He maximized his 3 minutes. I don't want to say I loved it, but I adored it.
I bet his 3 minutes felt like a goddamn eternity. Because look, and the thing is, Kai Cenat, he's a famous streamer too, or something, I guess. He's got all these famous people on his podcast. He even had John Cena on there, and
Kevin
he
Hart.
does it in his he does it in his bedroom. at his house, and they come and sit in his room and do interviews. John Cena was actually on it just a few months ago, but because Kai Cenat had called him out and said earlier this week, and Speed, I see you at the Royal Rumble. So I was expecting Kai to come out of the audience and jump in when Speed got in. And hats off to Akira for always being a team player. But when Triple H is basically like, put the kid in, like, and friggin' Speed goes out there when, and didn't he eliminate somebody? He actually got an
Otis.
elimination.
Otis.
Yeah, so I'm just like, hat off to Otis for being a team player because there are a lot of guys in that locker room that have been like, I'm not letting that guy eliminate me. Hell no, it's going to tarnish my reputation. But when he got in
Kudos
there
to
and when
them.
Braun, what?
Kudos to them. They got to see the value in
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, when Braun Breaker started hitting the ropes, I was like, Speed hasn't turned around yet. And Braun noticed that. He's like, yeah, this guy hasn't turned around for the sell yet. So he hit the ropes an extra time. And at a point, Braun's like, fuck this, I gotta hit the spot. And he did not let him turn all the way around. And he drove this kid arms around his fucking arms, dude. He didn't even get the kid a chance to protect himself. And his head bounced off the mat. And then Braun's head kind of, his shoulder smacked into his head. And I'm like, if I hear tomorrow that this kid's got a concussion, I will not be surprised. Because then he gorilla press slams him into Otis. Otis goes, man, what the fuck? Fuck this
Oh,
shit. And fall away slams him over the fucking announce table. And I'm just like, did y'all just invite this kid here and go, we're gonna kill you tonight?
rest in peace, buddy.
Like if he's not injured, I will be surprised if he didn't get at least a concussion because that was a brutal spot.
He's pretty natural and
Brutal.
flexible, though, right? Like,
He's natural and flexible, but god damn it, that boy's head bounced like a basketball.
overall, I showed the speed thing was a success, and I would have been nervous heading in that it wouldn't be. But at like 7-8 with these guys in the ring,
Yeah,
I thought it was perfect time and it worked fantastically.
yeah. If they still did old school Titantrons, I'd have to put that clip in Braun Breaker's Titantron.
Yeah, true. Either way, it's going viral regardless, and that's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, it is.
All right, number
Oh yeah.
9, Sheamus, 10, Jimmy Uso, 11, Andrade, and 12, Jacob Fatu, eliminating 4
Mhm.
people. I believe is the 4 people tying Roman Reigns for the most on the night. That pack, little. I wish Sheamus got a little bit more as he's like growing on me. I feel like he's earned a little bit more, but this is where he's slotted on the card right now, and he's not going to get
Yeah.
hurt whatsoever by that. But I think he was maybe only in there for 5 minutes, if that, really.
I love this section of the match because that's when the stakes actually start really ramping up. Because I was so surprised they had Roman in as early as they did,
Yeah,
because he was what number 16. So I was like, hold on, Roman's in before the last 10. Oh shit. So, but then I've always been ashamed. I haven't always loved Sheamus. I didn't really care for him in the bar. I started loving him on his comeback run later. And my favorite match in 2023 is him versus Gunther. That was my match of the year, and I have been a Sheamus fan ever since because out of every guy on that fucking roster at his age, he gives more to every match than anybody on any night, TV, whatever. He beats himself up for the fans, and I respect the hell out of him for it. I definitely think he's winning the Intercontinental Championship at Mania. So I don't think this anything happening prior to that is going to hurt him.
no,
Um, but Fatu, what a great time to put him in because in that middle, you got to put in some serious freaking stakes and some serious opposition. And having Jacob and Roman enter so close together was a fucking smart move because it really does tell a story from that whole middle point leading into the 20. But like, I'm surprised they didn't give Jacob have him tie or break Roman's record for most eliminations to really put him over. Because if I remember correctly, Roman had held the record for the most eliminations, didn't he? Or did Brock Lesnar beat that when Brock Lesnar was the champion in the Rumble during right before the pandemic?
I'm pretty sure
Because it
Brock.
was originally Okay, because it was Kane that held it, then it was Roman, and then I think Brock broke it. So I'm kind of surprised they didn't like give Jacob this monster thing to kind of write Brock Lesnar out of history, because we just found out, they just reported last night, it is
Yeah,
confirmed Brock Lesnar has been named in the Janelle Grant lawsuit. So now we have a potentially duplicitous human being that WWE is not going to want history association with, which kind of tarnishes a lot of Roman's legacy. So I figured that they were gonna give Jacob the fucking bro, the killer tonight. Like he's gonna take everybody out, but they didn't. And I
two
love
star
that they were
studded
like,
for that, really. Yeah, kind of two-star studded for that, really. Right?
yeah, I mean, you know what? That's a very fair point. So you can't have him taking out every fucking main eventer. He's been here for 5 minutes. Uh,
Yeah,
but but what a glorious 5 minutes.
yeah,
So I thought he
yeah.
was great because it introduced that heavy opposition of, look, I'm here, and anybody that's coming in, you are going to have to deal with this ass whooping and this beat down. And he goes, I mean, started really putting the fucking stank on this Rumble in the middle. And Jay being there, awesome. Was surprised we didn't get nearly as much interaction between Jay and Roman as I thought we would. That was
No,
very, very stilted. I thought we were going to get so much more interaction with them teaming up together, working together. They barely fucking touched each other in this Rumble at all, except for and I said Jimmy, right?
yeah,
Yeah. There was one spot where he goes to help him up and he gets stopped trying to help him up by Drew, but I thought there'd be more between them because even Jay and Roman barely fucking intertwine at all in this match, which is a surprise to me. But good middle, good middle.
yeah, no doubt. Then we had Ludwig Kaiser at 13, The Miz at 14. Pretty haha, whatever, right? Inconsequential. And then one of the biggest pops of the night, number 15, I believe, say his name, he will appear. Joe Henry, your TNA World Heavyweight Champion. I wasn't shocked he showed up. I was very
I
surprised.
called it.
Yeah, I was very happy he did.
Yeah.
And I was very happy of the pop that he got. I'm curious if the
Yeah.
guys in the back were as surprised as I was. I wasn't surprised, but I was pleasantly surprised,
Well, he
right?
had gotten a
So,
great pop last year.
yeah.
So, but it was the
75,
thing with their
70,000 though. Oof, good for
but
him.
the thing with their new partnership with TNA is, and first off, I love it because I love that we've moved past the point of we refuse to acknowledge that other professional wrestling companies exist. I love that about Nick Khan and Triple H that they're like, nah, man, we gotta like show that we love professional wrestling. The best way to do that is to highlight the history of professional wrestling, which is what they did on Raw's debut on Netflix, that awesome opening package highlighting the different companies that exist, saying that we are a global organization, we are a global sport, and it comes in all walks of life, shapes, and sizes. And the fact that they're like, you know what? We put the TNA fucking champion on our product because we know that he is known and he is loved. I'm here for it because
No
you
doubt.
can't treat wrestling fans like they're stupid. Like WWE is the only thing that exists because it's not. And that was the problem with Vince. He wasn't willing to acknowledge the other talent and the other competition that helped his competition or helped his company grow. There is no growth without opposition. The WWE doesn't grow without WCW forcing them to expand and change and get better. You need that stuff. Same thing with AEW. Without AEW, we don't get to this new era because they had to prove and force themselves higher and faster and create a better, more engaging product. Same thing. TNA has been around for a long time because it has staying power. Putting their champion on our TV screen is respectful. It acknowledges the growth, the other companies, and it's a great feel good moment. Hey, this other guy from a different company, he's here. We love him just as much as you do.
And I wouldn't be shocked if he was just like Jordan Grace in the WWE within a year, right? So
Nah, I'm not surprised at that either because I definitely think once his contract's over, he's gonna pin one because
I
WWE
would like
looks
to,
at him and they see merch sales.
yeah, and I would like to see where his stock lies once he's in the day-to-day WWE because he's
Upper
a
mid card,
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say LA Knight probably, right? So
yeah,
good
upper
for.
mid card for sure.
I'm glad he's in, and I'm happy for him. Let's put it that way. He's a veteran. Funny thing is, think about it, right? I did like a Ring of Honor trivia with Joe Henry during the pandemic when he was in Ring of Honor. He was like not that known. And he's just like, mate, you guys know a lot about the wrestling. He's like, I know, I'm not gonna help you guys out at all.
Oh,
I
you
don't
got to
know
interview
any,
him.
yeah, I don't know anything. No, we were doing Ring of Honor history live with like via Ring of Honor. So
Oh shit.
yeah, me and Rossi, who does all these previews with me, we're doing Ring of Honor history, like trivia, and we won it. And Joe Henry was on our team because they teamed that you go up with a Pacific wrestler from their roster, and we got Joe Henry. And he's like, I don't know any history, guys. You're gonna have to carry me before it. But we hung out with him for like 15 minutes. We were making him laugh, and he was just such a
That's
good guy.
fucking cool, man.
Yeah,
That's
he
good.
was such a good.
Awesome.
And this is before he blew up. It was really cool.
But
All right,
I mean, it's cool though. It's awesome. You got to
yeah,
be there before the rise, which is
yeah,
awesome.
no doubt. All right, number 16, Roman Reigns, tying Jacob Fatu with the most eliminations at 4. Number 17, Drew McIntyre. 18, Finn Balor. And 19, Shinsuke Nakamura. I love I love Roman at 16 and then Drew right after. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
the the vibes and the energy between them. I don't know, man. If that was like a backup of a backup Mania plan match, I don't think I'd be mad at it. And if you were to tell
I
me
wouldn't
that
hate it at
before,
all. Makes perfect sense.
and if you told me that before, I'd be like, really, we're doing that? But just the vitriol and the anger that Roman Reigns brings out of Drew, because all this stems from Cash to the Castle in 2022. Just it fuels the bloodline fuels so much television.
It does. The
I don't know,
best story in modern professional wrestling ever told. Best
no
story of the
doubt.
last 20 years. Um, with this, this is where the Rumble gets into, hey, the stakes are fucking real. This is where you're going to want to not get up and leave your seat because we're filling this ring up with main eventers. We're filling it up. And Shinsuke Nakamura is there too. But we're filling up this ring. Like, and this is again where I say to why on earth there were certain spots that weren't given to other people. Again, Kofi Xavier, I keep going back to it because why does Shinsuke need to be in this? He's already a champion.
Yeah, Triple H.
Exactly, like, and if he's here, put him in earlier because we all know he's not winning. He's got a belt on him already. Same thing with having the IC champ in there. Why? Why? We don't need these like the only champion that was in there that made sense was Joe Hendry because his title's for a different promotion. So but hey, why not? It'd be kind of a cool thought. The TNA champion wins the ticket to WrestleMania to face WWE's world champion. That's a cool thing to think about. Other than that, Drew, I thought he should have been the one to eliminate Roman. A lot of people did. We thought that would make the most sense. But when you get to it, we'll discuss what I think Roman's spot here with at Mania is going to be when we get to what happened with the eliminations later. But I thought this was a very great. This is when the Rumble really like kicks up, like a lot. Like it's like, oh shit, this is what we're here for. The biggest names are all coming out, bro. Totally here for it.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. And the biggest name would come out here next. Your winner, number 20, Jay fucking Uso, man. Man, before I jump to Jey Uso, Finn Balor, kudos to him. He had a brief run, but it was strong. I felt it was a.
Yeah,
I liked his energy once he arrived. I thought every movement that he had purpose and was directed towards whatever new persona he's going to have. I feel like
yeah.
he's going to have a big year, and he had a short run, but it was a strong run. I just want to mention that before I go. But Jey Uso, 20, AJ Styles 21, Braun Strowman 22. Early 20s here. We'll get into Jey Uso at the end. We'll just kind of overlook him right now before we just go too crazy. I will say this earlier, Greg Diener, Jay's time has come. It has,
Yes.
but not yet on this pod. We'll get to him in a second. AJ Styles, nice return. You know, I thought similar to Finn, going to have a new direction in
Yeah.
2025, new focus, and I felt that they presented him really strong
I will
upon
never
return.
ever understand how men in their mid 40s look that fucking good.
The
Don't get
brother
it.
has the brother has hit the gym. Let's put it that way.
Finn Balor's 44. Look at him and
Yeah,
tell me that motherfucker looks like a 44-year-old man.
zero carbs.
I don't think that man knows what bread is. Um, he's never seen body fat in his life. But man, AJ being back, the one thing I thought here, and I said to my wife, I said, "Oh, AJ's back, not the one I wanted, but it's AJ nonetheless." Um, you know, because but I thought when AJ came out, the first thing I thought was, is he a babyface again? They reverted him back to the "You Don't Want None" music. They put him back in his phenomenal one tights. He hit the phenomenal entrance, and I was like, is he a baby face again? Because we haven't seen him since like what, SummerSlam or something, like his feud with Cody was the last time we saw him when he lost to Cody, whatever fucking pay-per-view that was over in London or some shit.
No, he was back for a brief minute, but then he
Was
got
he?
injured. Yeah, he got injured right away in the fall. Remember, he hurt his ankle on SmackDown.
Oh, Jesus, that's right.
Holy shit,
Wow.
Luka!
Okay.
I don't know if you're an NBA head. Luka Doncic traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. Pretty much, wow.
I have no idea who that is.
Those are two. Those are Luka Doncic is the top three guy in the NBA. We need a
That's
source.
the
All right.
that's the
Anyways,
sport where you got to score a touchdown, right? Just kidding.
that's for another day, brother. That's if that's true. That is wow. All right. Anyways, back to your regularly scheduled program here.
You're about to say a regularly spreadable program. Oh
20,
God,
23 John Cena, 24 CM Punk, 25 Seth freaking Rollins. I love this.
man.
I love this presentation here.
Yeah.
In the mid 20s to throw all those favorites out there back to back to back, and then real for Seth to jump in that ring and bring that urgency that would carry us through the whole
Oh
rest
yeah.
of the night. Wow.
He came out fucking went straight for Punk, bro. He
Mm-hmm.
went straight for a Luthez press and started wailing on him. He was like, "I mean, fuck you, get over here, bitch," and then just jumped on him. Like, I'm with you, man. Like, talk about back to back to back entrance where you just go, "Oh, oh, oh,
The,
oh, shit!" Like every
the
single
tone
entrance,
is now set.
because then you're literally like, I really have, like, we all speculate, we all hope and wonder who's going to win. But then in the moment when all these guys are out there in the ring and you just see this ring filled up with fucking future Hall of Famers as far
Mm-hmm.
as the eye can see, and your first thought is, okay, now I really just don't know who the fuck is going to win. Like, I wanted Punk, that was my pick.
Yeah, you're good. Sorry.
Look um, future Hall of Famers, as far as the eye can see. You really don't know who the fuck is going to win. I wanted Punk because that's my boy. I thought his story is WrestleMania for the title. We're going to get it off of Gunther Elimination Chamber. It's him versus Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Like it was supposed to be last year, this year at Mania. And boy, was I wrong. And then I finally realized this is why Jay's out at 20. This is why all these guys are out in the 20s. It's to red herring us because no one out there, people want Jay to win, but no
They
one
really
thinks
do,
he's going
though.
to win. Like no one
Plus
thinks he's gonna
18
win.
betting odds. We're not going to get into J yet. We're going to finish the Rumble. We're not going to get into
Well,
J
yeah,
yet.
but what I mean is like that's a red herring. Those guys were
Absolutely.
all out there to red herring us, and what a red herring. Look at everybody in the ring. Future fucking first ballot Hall of Famers. Every one of them led the company by their bootstraps with world championship gold at many and various different times. Like what a like looking at it, and I thought, holy shit, look at the star power in this ring right now.
Hmm.
Star power everywhere.
Those are your
And
four
Shinsuke's
Vegas
there
favorites.
too.
Yeah.
But like yeah, like and Shinsuke's there too. But look at the star power. And I love Shinsuke, but they fucking killed his star fucking 9 years ago. Or 7 years ago. But wow, what a great fucking like God, 10 of those guys or nine of them in the ring at once. What a fucking sight to see. What a
All right.
sight to see.
And we close out the entries here 26, Dirty Dom, 27, Sami Zayn, 28, Damian Priest, 29, LA Knight, and number 30, I thought was perfect to add in Logan Paul there for quite the response. But yeah, Cena at this point is straight chilling in the corner of the ring, not doing a whole lot, reserving all that energy towards the end.
He's like, I got to film tomorrow. I ain't getting injured in this shit.
He's like, yeah, I got to go about 7 minutes with Jey Uso in a match here at the end to close this out. I'm reserving all my energy.
He was sitting there like, was it always this exhausting? Oh shit! Like, um, like I just said, what a great visual. Um, everybody in that ring. I'll even give it to Logan. He stuck that slingshot lariat or the buckshot lariat into a double, by the way, a double buckshot lariat. But like, wow, 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 wow. And when the 30th entrant turned out to be Logan, I was like, who's gonna be 30? And then I heard his music, and I went, oh fuck, I forgot about him. and at that point, I was like, well, who else could it? Who else is there to bring out? Was like my thought. I was like, who else could possibly be here? It's going to be some legend that will pop for or something. Maybe because and you know what I genuinely believe. I genuinely believe that the 30 spot was going to be Brock Lesnar, or somebody that was in that match was supposed to be Brock Lesnar at some point. And then they got that news that broke yesterday, and they maybe changed it. Because there were so many rumblings that he would be coming back because he had been name dropped by Triple H a couple times in the last month and a half.
Yeah,
He
they
had
would say
been
beast and stuff. Yeah.
yeah he had been referenced by name in story in the last couple of weeks by superstars in the roster in promos. I genuinely think he was supposed to be that Rumble in one of the spots that one of those guys is in, and then they had to call an audible within the last 24 to 48 hours and change it. And then they said, well, fuck it, we'll make Logan number 30 and whoever else is out there, maybe Shinsuke was supposed to be Brock. But like uh it was fine. We didn't need him. This was a really great stretch here. A lot of shit happened. I did not see Damian Priest eliminating Drew McIntyre, so I definitely think we're getting something between those two. They lingered on Damian's face, very specifically the reaction from Drew, the way he just looked at at Damian, and the way that Damian just snickered at him. I think we're getting something there. Because don't forget, Drew was helping out Jacob Fatu with a little bit of a truce that match tonight. And who did Jacob Fatu just have a problem with on SmackDown? Damian Priest. So I can see another face to face between Damian and Solo, and I can see Drew jumping him. I also thought that Punk, or not Punk, but Logan Paul eliminating Punk and Roman and Seth after that awesome stare down between Seth and Roman, where it turned out because I hadn't even realized the Shield reformed in this building. They broke up in this building.
Oh, that's
Okay.
right. That city.
Like,
Yeah. No doubt.
That city. But they had been in that building before for one of the Rumbles where they had reformed. And I was like, there's so much history between them in this city. And I'm like, oh shit, this is like the first face to face they've actually had in a year almost since Mania. Having Logan be the one to get to eliminate Roman and Seth and Punk, uh, or sorry, Punk eliminated Roman and Seth. Wait,
Yes. All
yes,
right. So
okay.
listen.
And
Well,
it was crazy. It was a lot of
yeah.
chaos.
Well, in a great way. So the eliminations kind of went like this. Drew, when we got to the final eight-ish, it was like a ping pong of the upper mid card.
Yes,
Drew was eliminated by Priest. LA Knight eliminated Priest. AJ Styles eliminated LA Knight. And then AJ Styles was eliminated by Logan Paul. And that's where Logan Paul did the table spot where he ricocheted from the apron to the table
yes,
and
yes, yes,
the
yes, yes.
Kofi Kingston spot, which led to Seth and Roman making their way to that side of the ring. Logan walked around to the apron, leapfrogged over. While doing so, CM Punk became from behind, tipped Seth and Roman over the top rope, and then Logan Paul snuck back in the ring and eliminated Punk.
Yes, yes, yes. Because
And
Punk
then
hit
after
fucking
all
hard.
that, we had about 4 minutes of chaos outside of the ring with Roman, Seth, and Punk. Vicious curb stomps from Seth Rollins. Perhaps I'm going to assume this was a complete heel turn afterwards on Roman Reigns in general. He was leaning heel, leading all the way into the Royal Rumble. I believe this was his
I've
tipping
been
point.
saying Seth has been going to turn heel for a long time. I've been
No doubt.
calling it for months and months. It's too many story beats that you can't overlook with his behavior, the viciousness in the ring, the way he's been wrestling. He's been wrestling heel. Um,
And it
I'm
would make
now.
sense if he
It
directed
would
that
make
energy
100%.
To Roman
Because
Reigns.
100%. You know why? Because now the dynamic has changed.
Yes.
Roman's the face. It's back to where they started. Roman was the good guy. Steph was the heel. If this is their last ever match, it
Yep.
makes sense that it comes full circle back to you're the asshole and I'm the good guy.
And for
And now
Seth
I'm not sure what
Rollins,
the match of Mania is going to be.
and let's make the case for Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, because if Roman Reigns is going to avenge his loss at WrestleMania, that loss came to his
Steph.
distraction on Seth
Yeah.
Rollins, so he should justify and revenge that distraction and put
Yep.
that angst of his character, that blind spot of his character away and
Yep.
bury that and take Seth Rollins out of the picture, and then he can focus on the title again because it is clearly a blind spot. It was a
I'll do
DQ
you
and
one better.
yeah, what?
Punk's favor turns it into a triple threat.
But what's the
Why all?
stakes?
Why would all? Well, what?
Go
Where
ahead.
else is? Think about it. If what's the favor? Where else is Punk going to be on that card? Because word is it's Cena Cody at Mania. So Jay is going for the World Heavyweight Championship. Punk's got to be somewhere.
I don't know.
Is it Jay Gunther 4?
I believe so. I believe that
Because I
should be
think
the case.
Gunther's losing that thing before Mania.
Then what? It would be Jay versus.
That's the question. Because having Jay win changes everything of where the directions have to head. If Gunther's champion at Mania, then is the main event spot for CM Punk non-title? And if it is, the story should have been him versus Seth Rollins for something. And now we don't know what's going on with Roman. Who the fuck is he gonna face? If Rollins and Punk happens, where does Roman fit in now that the Rock match has been determined it's off the table? So there's got to be something where Roman has a match and Punk has a match. And if it's not for championships, it's got to be against each other, but or something to do with Seth. You got to figure out what we're doing with these three guys. They're either one-on-oneing against one or the other, or they're triple threating it without a title in the mix. So I mean,
But
Jay
is
winning really does complicate that.
them triple threading without the title and mesh, is that WrestleMania worthy?
When you think about it, yes, because
Main
their
event worthy.
story doesn't their story doesn't. Oh well, namesake alone, yes, because you got to think of the headlining star power here.
Yeah,
Punk and Roman alone, both bigger stars than Seth.
no doubt.
But at the same time, you have to make the argument for, well, if you don't pull the trigger, because this has definitely got to be Roman's last, regular. I don't see him signing another contract after this. What else is there for him to do? Because if you don't do the Rock Roman match this year, it's never happening.
Yeah,
And if you're going to run Cody and him back, it's got to be this year at some point. No one wants to see that at Mania next year, because I'm not waiting a whole nother year to see that, because Cody won't be champion by next year probably.
yeah.
So
The Rock really does fit in. He's kind of needed at WrestleMania this year in a
he
way.
is needed, and he is needed, and he's determined that. And they have said that they have forgotten about it, taken off the table, because it looks like he is not going to be available unless that's bullshit and it's a red herring. Well, I'm sorry. Well, you got 2 fucking plus months to get your ass back here to build some story. But then, if you just take him back in and you start building story, well then, what the fuck was the point of Seth snapping on Roman if that doesn't go anywhere?
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? And then we start
yeah.
to think, what is Punk's favor? It's got to be for a main event at WrestleMania of some kind. It has to be. It's not just for a championship. He wants that main event more than he wants a title. So Jay winning, awesome, but it definitely confuses a lot of story points that
It
were already
doesn't
going
really
on.
for those guys that we're talking about right now. That crop of elimination, it really gives no answers tonight. So we'll
Yeah,
see. I'm very intrigued and see what they got to us there.
I'm extremely intrigued. I'm extremely intrigued because now nothing is predictable, and I love that.
Yeah, no doubt.
But now it's just like you can go so many directions. I feel like you're kind of parked in the middle of the road trying to pick one.
So the final six was Roman and Seth, 5, and 6, and then Punk. Right after that was 4, because the big 4, the final 4, historically is important, and that would leave
Oh yeah.
Logan Paul, Jey Uso, and John Cena. They would dispose of Logan Paul sooner rather than later here. I thought he looked pretty good leading into his elimination, and I liked the is he gonna do it? But then he was finally eliminated by John Cena. And when John Cena eliminated Logan Paul, I said, "Oh shit, Jey Uso's gonna win this."
I wasn't sure. I
Because
remember.
he, my hope, because I don't really think Cena should have won tonight. He needs to
No,
kind of
I don't
go.
think so either. Because
He
they'll
needs to
get
go
him to
through his
Cody
shit.
either way.
Yeah, he needs
They
to
will
go
get him
through
to
his shit.
Cody either way. Him and
Yeah.
Cody is going to be a simple booking. Because I said it
Mhm.
last night on Snugs. I said John doesn't need to win this because his match with Cody is already sells itself. I'm the face that used to run the place. Yeah, well, I'm the face that runs the place now. Well, I'm a better face than you were. No, I'm a better face than you were. Well, let's prove who the better face is at WrestleMania, and I want to break that record. Sold, done. You don't need a Royal Rumble win for that. Like that whole story speaks for itself. The World Heavyweight Championship is the workhorse title. That requires a good story. That one needs the world or the Royal Rumble win. So this final two between John and Jay, I legit sat there and thought, I mean, they could have John win it, but it would be superfluous. What's the point? He doesn't need it. He's already won one. Jay needs if we have Jay in these final two, Jay needs that shit. He's been on a losing streak from hell for the last 6 title matches he's been in. Give him something massive. Because remember, I'd originally called that he was going to win the Money in the Bank. I
Mhm.
still think he might win the Money in the Bank if he loses at Mania.
He can't lose at Mania
So,
now.
oh, he definitely could.
0 and
Don't
4
put it
though.
past Triple H to put the heel over.
Yeah, 0 and 4. Ugh, I don't know. It just feels like it's a silver platter for him to win
Yeah.
at WrestleMania.
But think
But
about it. He's also already won at WrestleMania the last 2 years.
mm,
So it's not like it would hurt his Mania credibility. He's already main evented Mania twice. So, or not twice, sorry, he's main evented WrestleMania once. So
mhm.
it's not like it would be the end of him with the Money in the Bank 2 pay-per-views after that.
as a whole, this final two, I felt that Cena giving Uso the rub is very cool, but I felt that it fit both guys. Cena should go through some shit before he
Yeah,
inevitably gets to where he needs to get to in his last year of 2025. And
adversity. Yeah,
just the hope for Jey Uso
yeah,
finally coming in and coming through.
yes,
God damn, like I stood up and jumped up and
yeah.
I was like, you gotta
Michael
be
Cole
kidding me.
said it best.
The
Michael
whole
Cole said it best.
all the kids jumped up and cheered in my
Oh
house.
yeah,
He's
yes, yes.
just organically grassroots over.
Michael Cole said it best. He is officially the main event, and he genuinely deserves it. He
Yeah.
does. He earned the right to say he deserves it,
And
just like Kofi did.
this was not giving to him whatsoever. This is completely earned. It's
Yeah,
grassroots.
yes. He's put in the work, the time, the story, the character, the dates. He's been there for over 15 fucking years. Like what, 17 now? From '08 they
Yeah.
came in.
Oh
Like he's
nine, oh
been
eight,
there.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's been there. Just like Kofi deserved it after earning it for so long. Jay, from the crowd connection, the merchandise sales, the in-ring ability and improvement as singles, his tag history, I mean, record breaking. He's so fucking popular.
Yep.
Why wouldn't you pull the trigger? He is so fucking white hot. Monday Night Raw is going to be loud as shit this next week.
I can't wait.
When he comes out, bruh, bruh.
And
And his son was there.
mm-hmm.
Come on.
Great moment. And I love
You'll
that
never forget it.
the emotion Big E had in the post show directed towards Jay was fantastic. I don't know if you saw it. Jay Uso cut a
Yeah,
really
they're very close. They're very
Jay
close
Uso
friends.
cut a great promo saying, "Yeah, tag team wrestling has arrived, pretty much. I'm here." So kudos to them too for really just going with the hot hand because they had a lot of options that are bigger names. With
So many options. I mean,
Jay Uso
I
was
mean,
legit ninth, 10th on the betting odds,
yeah.
and that shit never
And
happens.
this adds to his credibility too,
Mm-hmm.
because of all the Royal Rumbles to have him win, it was the most star-studded, fucking packed out Rumble in a very recent modern memory.
Mm-hmm.
Like this Rumble had, like I said, half that Rumble was future Hall of Famers. Okay, first ballot Hall of Famers was half that match card.
It really
Of
was.
all the ones to have him win, this is the credibility. He can say, I won the Rumble. I won the most stacked Royal Rumble since the Attitude Era,
Yeah, no
or at
doubt.
least the ruthless aggression era. Because what a, oh, I mean, dude, you went over on fucking John Cena, Roman Reigns, fucking Seth
CM
Rollins, CM
Punk.
Punk in the same night. He went over on all these guys in one night. I mean, come on. Wow, the pop on Monday. I can't wait to hear it. I can't.
Yeah,
And I love that his son was there in the moment to see it with him. That's what really sold it for me. Because professional wrestling, WWE, it's about family. That's what they've always been about, the family. His son there just made his victory so much sweeter for me. Even though I wanted Punk to win, I genuinely felt warmth when I saw his son with him.
no doubt.
And I was like, I'm okay with this win. I'm totally okay with Jay. The point at the sign, well worth it, dude. Well fucking worth it.
Yeah, Matt Farrell
Awesome.
says the men's rumble was super fun in the comments here. I agree 100%. Uh,
Absolutely.
I got some in-house text here from D'Amato, who's dropped by the YouTube and Get Ups too. Here's some of his live in the crowd texts to me as he always does when he's there. Laid back crowd cheering and popping for what they pretty much what they were presenting to him. They were accepting and give it to it, but they were mostly laid back to start. the if you know D'Amato, this text message is Just so on cue. The pure white blonde females over the most with the crowd in the women's Royal Rumble. He goes, Otis got a huge pop. No surprise. Indy was crazy for a fat white guy. Fatu
Oh
crazy,
God.
Fatu crazy over like last night and tonight. Faces a face like reaction for Jacob Fatu. Huge believer in Joe Henry. And I said, "Oh, biggest pop so far." He goes, "Yeah, definitely top three." So Henry's pop was
Yeah.
legit.
It was a
And
loud pop.
yeah, he goes, "Braun eliminating Fatu went over like a wet fart, but forgotten quickly with Cena's out next." Timing wise, that was smart though.
Yeah.
Most here's a random text. Most over guys in one Rumble ever. Paul at 30 was let down after all those killer entrants, 20 to 29, right here. And then he said, shock crowd, massive pop for the ending. Youngsters for Usos, OGs for Cena, the most subdued pop, more surprised than loud. So that sums it up pretty good there. And I agree with that last sentiment, more surprised than not. I thought it was an excellent decision to go with Jay Uso. I was legit cheering him on. I am the biggest CM Punk mark, and I wanted him to get his
So
WrestleMania
am I.
moment. And I found myself like a little kid cheering on the underdog and Jay Uso. Excuse me. They presented that so strong and so well, and they fucking delivered. Kudos to
Yeah.
them.
I mean,
And excellent.
I said it last night. I said it last night, and I'll reiterate it here. I said it on Snugs last night. It had been since the 2018 Rumble where we had a Rumble winner that we didn't see coming. When they had Asuka and Shinsuke both win, no one
Yep.
saw that coming. It had been that long since we saw a winner that nobody actually truly believed was going to do it. And
Yep.
hats off to him for pulling the trigger.
And as a whole, this men's rumble was on that level with 2020 for the most recent modern rumbles. 4.5 stars, maybe even plus. I'm gonna rewatch it again, of course, but I fucking loved it. I adored it. I thought it was excellent. I'm losing my
I'm in a
voice,
four and a
buddy.
half. I'm going to do
Give me
four and
your
a half with
overall
you.
thought. Give me your overall thought on this pay-per-view and especially this rumble as I lose my voice at the end here.
I was roller coastering, like I said. Final thought was, final thought is, I loved it. It was better than last year's, uh, in a sense of the storytelling within the match. Cody winning back to back was awesome.
Yeah.
That final three last year with Cody, Punk, and Drew was awesome.
Hmm.
But something about this final sequence here, where last year we knew it was going to be Cody. We had a feeling it had to be Cody because it
Yeah.
had to be. Um, this year was like it was so unpredictable because there were so many options. It made it that much better. The women's, though, I got deflated. Loved it. I think the overall show was very good,
Yep.
very good. I will give it. I won't give it a great. I'll give it a very good, which is for me four and a half, right below great.
Hmm.
Just because the tag match was whatever, and the ending of the women's was like a oh. Other than that, top tier Royal Rumble. Definitely one of the best we've had in the last 10, 12 years.
Yeah,
Probably, in my opinion, the top three of the last 10 years.
Yeah, my expectations were high and they were pretty much met. Had a great crew over at the house. They utterly enjoyed it. Not much time on their phone, all on the TV, which is key with that younger generation, of course. So that's how you know is it's clicking. I'm excited. I'm excited for Mania season, and the
Oh yeah,
possibilities are unknown, and that's the best part of it.
yeah, it is. It really is.
So,
We're about to the road to WrestleMania is going to take us to a lot of peaks and valleys, and this year because so much shit is unpredictable. Um, I am in just to finish the metaphor. I'm here for the ride.
hell yeah. Well, it's been a ride having you on here, Mr. Blood. I appreciate it. Thanks for jumping on, man, and we'll see you on the next one, buddy.
Kamate, kamate, ka ora, ka ora. I live, I die, I die. My Polynesian brother and my Polynesian brother won the Royal Rumble tonight.
Awesome. All right, guys. See you on the next one. Thank you.